Velma's season finale was trash. Absolutely fucking horrible. I hated every single motherfucking second of it, except for one part. There's one good thing. I hated it so much. I did something I never do. Usually I just record and I just start talking my thoughts, which is it's gonna turn into that anyway. But I took notes. I went back and I watched the season finale. I took notes, and the only reason I'm only talking about the season finale is because there's only one thing in the season finale that has to connect with the other episodes. Other than that, nothing really fucking matters. Except like there, yeah, obviously the murders and the whole plot that has been going on throughout the entire season is there. But everything that happened in the previous episodes technically didn't even need to happen for this one to happen. None of the evidence accumulates and like equals to other evidence so they solve the mystery. Everything's just like a one-off evidence thing. They find the thing and then it doesn't go on from there. But in the last one, they get everything they need to solve the mystery, but they only get everything they need in that last episode. There's no build up to it, except for again one part, which it still doesn't fucking matter. So we're gonna start out. So uh, my note is called Velma's season finale is abysmal because it was abysmal. So I'm gonna start talking about episodes 9 and 8, and maybe touch on 7, because 7 was actually a banger. The ending mostly though, because in the ending, not only do you have the door switching thing, you have the music, and you have the whole group together for the first time, my dad, the first ever time all 4 members are together, are when they do the fog episode, which is probably my favorite episode of Emma. It's actually not a bad one. Leading up to the fog place, once they get there, like I don't even mind Velma's whole guy thing. It actually is pretty funny. I do kind of like it. I'm not like, and I mean, that might be a hot take. That might be a fucking thing that I'm gonna get lynched for saying, but I do. I genuinely liked episode 7. Episode 1 I did also like at first when the animation was there, was fresh, but then as you get to see the hallucinations more and more, you just become so accustomed to it, it just stops being cool. So Norville in episode, I think it was 9. It was obviously in 9. So in episode 9, spoiler alert by the way. So Norville gets mad at Velma because Velma thinks it hits her dad. Obviously so, because they put the fucking vote. They have to do a bunch of fake outs because why the fuck not? But the fake outs don't go anywhere. They don't lead into something else. It's just there for shock value to make you be like, oh my god, is it him? But it can't actually be because it's too easy. Because it's not. It is. If it's too easy for this show, it is. Don't second guess it. The show is not smart. The show cannot like make you look at one thing and then hide something in the background to make you figure out the actual mystery. They can't do that. It was just not good at it. They are good at showing you things when they want to show you them. They are not good at alluding to other things whatsoever. So in episode 9, Norville finally stands up for himself. He finally goes to Velma and like, you're a piece of shit. Like you thought my dad was a fucking criminal, you idiot. Why would you do that? Why would you not talk to me first or something so we could figure this out? After, by the way, Norville solved the entire mystery for her. Every single episode, Velma does shit all to try to solve her mother's mystery. She says she's trying to. She says, I gotta find my mom's kidnapper. I gotta do. But she does fucking nothing. Norville, on the other hand, goes off and it starts like in the first episode, he picks her up and he takes her to the place and he's like, I have the camera, blah blah blah. Norville is literally the key. Like me and my buddy have discovered, Norville's the main fucking character of the show. If you watch the show not as Velma but as Norville, it makes so much sense. He does everything. He has a one-off episode with every character that he gets to know, and they build a relationship, they establish that, which I'm just realizing now gets fucking demolished in the last episode too. But he builds a relationship with these people, he's solving the mystery, he actually does things to further the plot, whereas Velma has lesbian side stories and shitty jokes and just does fucking nothing but complain and be an asshole. So he sticks up for himself, and that's the only good thing. It wasn't even in this episode, it was in the episode before this one, but he does stick up for himself. And then in that same episode, there was this really abysmal, oh my god, I hated it so much, the fucking B plot of fucking Fred and Daphne wanting to become popular again. What the fuck was that? That is the stupidest plotline I've ever fucking heard. It's like they just needed to give them something to do. They needed to remind you that these characters were in the show, and they needed to show that like they had a relationship to begin with and whatever. Because like it was so forced and dumb and stupid and annoying, it made no sense. The only thing it did was get Daphne into with the mom, so that way the next episode would happen. That's it. That's the thing of the B plot of episode 9. It's just so episode 10 can happen. Which, yeah, it should work like that. But why make it such a boring plot line of them trying to become popular again? You can do something so much cooler. I'm actually going to get into that too. The fake out thing, like when they introduce the mom, she acts super suspicious and evil, so you're like, oh, it's probably her, like she's up to something. But then I even thought she might have got hypnotized to begin with. I was like, she's acting kind of strange, but it might be some sort of like mind thing because they're doing stuff with the brains. So they fake you out to make you think that it's going to be the mom, and then she basically admits to it, but at the end credit scene, so you know it's not her, because why the fuck would it be the end credit scene and not the cliffhanger for the next fucking episode? So you know it's not her. I don't know why I'm cussing a lot. I'm Australian. But Velma deserves what happens to her in this episode. She starts us off this episode with Norville being the editor, Daphne, not wanting to talk to Daphne because Daphne kissed Fred. That whole shit doesn't matter either, but like she deserves everything bad that happens to her because she's a piece of shit. Our main character is so bad and annoying. I don't root for her at all ever. And the only time she gets a development where she becomes a better person is this episode and this episode alone. Yeah, she has little bits and pieces there, but she's always still an asshole. In this one, she actually does something pretty nice. And then they make you think it's the dad because like the whole watch thing that we're gonna get into. Oh yeah, so the one thing is like the mom gets hypnotized to say, originally I thought the mom was the killer, if the mom was the killer, this would have been the worst motivation of all time. The fact that the mom only wanted Velma to fucking like be like popular, so she wanted to put a popular girl's brain in her brain. First of all, why the fuck would the hypnotist, the bitch, even think of that as a fucking thing? That's such a stupid reason to take people's brains out of their head. I don't care about that. It didn't make me actually think she was like. It actually made me think she wasn't, because how stupid the reasoning was behind that. The worst part about this fucking episode, the worst part about this episode is the goddamn way she gets in jail to talk to her mother. So they won't let her in jail because Velma clearly wants her mom to get out of jail. So they won't let her go into the jail unless she commits a murder. That is the stated thing from the cops. Like, you have to commit a murder. She goes to see Fred and finds out his rage mode, which comes in handy later, but remember, the only time you ever see it is this episode. And she goes to Fred, they have a talk, whatever. You see the van, cool. I couldn't even appreciate the van reference because how shitty the episode was going. And then Velma's like, oh, you might be able to help me. Then they go to the police station, and the guy's like, you're not getting in there to talk to your mom. And then Velma's like, what if I said I have a plan or whatever? And then Fred comes in, and he's like, what if I told you that me, a person like me, had a problem with a person like her? It's a race joke. The plot gets furthered, and the plot starts because of a fucking race joke. They don't do something cool where Velma actually does some mystery solving or some conniving shit to get in there. They just do a race joke, and boom, it's there. And it's not even a funny joke either. It's just so overdone and stupid that it made me want to turn it off. Yeah, then we got Fred's rage mode, the van appearance. Yeah, the race joke was the only way for the plot to progress, and it was very fucking stupid. And Daphne's mom, that we didn't see from episode 6, gives Daphne a locket or a stopwatch, which is integral to the fucking plot. Without that stopwatch, they could have figured out anything. Where was that stopwatch at for the last 4 fucking episodes? No one fucking knows. Why did it just show up in the finale? No one fucking knows. I think they could have had a really good episode. If they really want to do this lesbian shit between fucking Velma and Daphne, you could have made an episode where Daphne gets the stopwatch, shows it to Velma, and then they go on this like long journey together while talking to each other and building up their relationship while also trying to figure out who the locker belongs to, and then they figure it out, and then the season finale starts, and it's like them using the information they just got. Like they actually work towards it. They don't just get it handed to them and figure it all out. Yeah, it was just in the locker room. Oh yeah, Velma was hypnotized, by the way, when she was a kid and she was solving her mother's mystery. Again, it's never alluded to, and it's never like you never get a hint of it at fucking all. But Velma was hypnotized as a kid, and that's why she has her hallucinations. Keep that in mind. Velma was hypnotized. That's why she has her hallucinations. The forced lesbian scene in the jail, there's a ton of them. They're all stupid, and they all don't make any sense because the characters aren't that close. They can claim to be, but from what I've seen and from what I'm actually watching, they are literally not. Oh yeah, and then they keep showing the dad and being like, oh, he's up to something, he's up to no good, he's watching Daphne, he's watching his wife through the peephole, he's looking at Fred, oh no, it's gotta be the dad, it's gotta be, and I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely thought it was a dad, because, like, they already faked this out twice, with Norville's dad and the mom. Like, something is wrong with your car. You interrupted my video. It's already too long anyway. I didn't even know. Yeah, they keep showing the dad. They keep trying to give you the fake out, like, oh, it's the dad. He's the killer. He's killing women. I thought the plot was gonna be he was killing popular women to stop from his son from getting distracted so he could run the business. The business part was there. Gigi yelling at Velma in the showers was actually pretty good. I liked how she stuck up for Norville. I liked Gigi and Norville's relationship. I think it was done very well. I think everything in this show could have been done very well, or was done pretty well, except Velma. Like, I think she's the worst part of the show, which is saying something because it's her fucking show. If they called it Norville, the show would have been great, 100%. If they made Norville the main character, this show would have been at least 5 stars. Like 5 out of 10 on IMDb, because they do 10. We do 5 out of 10. It would have been better. I don't know my rating. I don't know what I'm saying, but it would have definitely been better. They never indicated that the dad was a fake out. They just kept showing you him the whole time, which doesn't even make sense for the end anyway, for when Velma actually figures out who it is, because she knows who it is because she does the research, but we don't see her doing the research until after they caught the guy. But that's a common Scooby-Doo thing where they pull the mask off and then someone's like, ah, this is how you did it, this is what you did. So that was, you can't really hate on that because that is just how Scooby-Doo worked. They never really solved the mystery beforehand at all, but I'm pretty sure you could have if you like paid attention, maybe in something. I wasn't really a big Scooby-Doo fan growing up. I watched it as a kid, I watched the cartoon, but I didn't really pay attention to it much. But it was a very common occurrence for them to pull the mask off and then figure out the mystery. Velma listening to the voicemails is cool. Like I said, she has one very big character development in this show that make her seem like a better person, like she's growing as a person. And it's this: she listens to Norville's voicemails, she goes through them all, and it's actually a very sweet moment. And you can tell like she's actually enjoying it, and it was written very well until the very last one, where somehow Norville once again manages to do something Velma couldn't do and solve the fucking mystery, dude. Oh my fucking god. He mentions in the fucking last voicemail message, he's like, sorry your mom got taken away, very sweet. Then he mentions, you look good with glasses, by the way. And then Velma takes off her fucking glasses, and when she does, she sees the little logo, and she's like, oh my god, that's like Fred's dad's company. And then she looks at like, she's like, oh my god, these belong to my mom. That must mean that they were involved. So she looks at the fucking photo to make sure, sees the dad as a pocket watch in his thing, and then looks at the pocket watch, and there's a symbol again there too. And then she puts all the fucking pieces together, and bida bomb, bida boom, that's how it fucking happens. But guess what? Velma didn't do shit for it. It was Norville. If Norville never sent her that voicemail 2 fucking years ago, and she never listened to it at this moment because they had a fucking fight, then none of this would have happened. The plot couldn't continue. The plot is so contrived and forced, it's fucking insane. Because it doesn't build it up. It's like from one episode to another. It doesn't build it. It doesn't build it up. It just goes from like, I don't know how I'm trying to explain this, man. It just kind of happens. And ugh. Like it just fucking goes on and on. Like the episodes don't connect to this one, and it's super fucking weird because like Norville fucking solves the mystery. I don't know why I keep going on about this. This is over. Like, I just think it's so stupid because Velma doesn't do absolutely fucking fuck all. She just basically has everyone else take care of it for her the whole show. She does nothing but complain, whine, and act like a bitch, and then have people solve the mystery for her. Yeah, she was wearing the glasses for 2 fucking years, but she needed the watch to put it together. Like, there's so many MacGuffins in this thing. The perfume bottle was a fucking MacGuffin. The glasses were a MacGuffin. The fucking watch was a MacGuffin. But they're only MacGuffins for this one episode. They don't connect to anything else. It's just this one. They all appear in this one fucking thing. That makes me so mad. I know it's just like a personal thing. You shouldn't get so caught up in a show like this because it's already bad. But, like, you could have done something great here. Like, you had there... I saw potential in it. I literally did. There was potential here to make a pretty good mystery show with like a more mature audience with Scooby. I don't even care that Scooby-Doo's not there. That really doesn't bother me at all. But like, you could have made a good show with the Mystery Gang, but you didn't. You had every opportunity to, and you failed. They don't even work together at all to solve it, by the way. Like, it's just Velma, and she uses contest clues from Norville to solve the case. And Daphne gives her the thing. Those are the only thing, but it's always so quick and meaningless because they don't actually work together. They just give Velma these things, this information, and then she does something with it. That's not working together. That's like, I gotta think of a good analogy. It's like telling someone to bake a loaf of bread, but like putting. That's not even a good one. I'm not good at this. I'm really not. I'm not good at this whole thing. Yeah, the only time they work together is near the end where Velma already solved it. They could have had this whole episode where Velma and Ashley had a growing relationship where they try to find the pocket watch. I already talked about that. They sacrifice a good plot for some petty drama. Like, they sacrifice such a good thing for just like making the characters complain about one another. Can't you see my mood is changing? I don't even want to continue this thing anymore, but I'm going to do it. Later on in the episode, when she finally figures out that they're trapped and she's got to go save them, her dad and her talk about her hallucinations, and her dad's like, well, why did they stop when I believed you that your mom was kidnapped? She says it's because she says it was because she thought she was an insecure weirdo, but like 5 minutes earlier before that, she said that her hallucinations were caused because she was hypnotized, not because she was a weirdo. It's because she was hypnotized. So you're wrong. You just said something and then you completely changed it. What the fuck? Velma crying in Norville was actually a pretty good moment too. Like I said, anytime they gave her some character development was good, but it's all kind of washed away because it's the only character development she has. There's a bat reference of like the original Scooby-Doo where like the bats fly at her, and I guess it's later known because it was the perfume. I didn't realize that at first, but it is. It's the fucking perfume. There's a weird O.J. Simpson joke in the cave that I didn't understand why it was there. I think for shock value, but like, it wasn't good. It was just shitty, like most of the other jokes. Oh, the perfume was fucking Chekhov's gun. Daphne gives her this fucking perfume, like, early in the episode. She then later uses it to defeat the bad guy. It's Chekhov's gun, you know? Like you see a thing, it's gonna be used to complete the plot. It is used to complete the plot. A fucking thing of perfume, and then the bats come and attack them. And as the bats come, the killer trips over a thing and a fucking radio falls on her head. But guess what? It shouldn't have knocked her out because she's wearing a fucking welder's mask. They're made out of metal. Nothing hitting your head is gonna fucking knock you out. Are you fucking stupid, show? How fucking dumb are you that a fucking tiny ass plastic radio probably falls on this girl and she just gets knocked the fuck out while wearing a fucking mask made of steel? Fucking, it's so stupid. I didn't know it was the mom at all when they revealed it. I literally had no idea it was gonna be the mom because again they don't show it to you, but they don't have to. That's another point I'm riding on a lot. But they don't actually have to show that to you. There was nothing said that they needed to indicate it or show it. Like I said, that's just how Scooby Doo goes. It's just usually Scooby Doo episodes are like a one off. Like they do one every episode. This was an entire series that you were building up to this plot line. So you should have at least had some sort of consecutive story going on if I'm using that word correctly, that made it so that way like things that you saw earlier would happen and things that like it makes it. The only thing is the pocket watch and it's just dumb. And the thing is, it was all about Fred. You know, Fred's mom wanted him to run the business, become a successful businessman. So she was trying to get a popular girl's brain to shove inside of him, even though all the girls were proven to be dumb, except for Olive. She was pretty smart, and Gigi, but they were never targeted at all. So, and they're not totally smart. So it was really just the whole thing is based around Fred. The reason these women were dying was because she wanted to put their brains in his head so he could become a successful businessman and stop being a fucking loser, like a rich white kid who just takes pictures of himself all the time and flashes his money around. Which again is just such a stupid plot line. Like I want my kid to become a businessman, so I'm killing people instead of actually teaching my kid how to run a business. What? Are you fucking dumb? Oh, and then here's my favorite fucking part. So they catch them after she gets knocked out. They catch the killer. They tie her up and they unmask her. Again, it's Fred's mom. Well, as they're doing the thing and they're talking and they're getting the backstory and the flashbacks are happening, at the end of it, the mom's like, "Yeah, well, guess what? You're not getting out of this." And she calls her husband, who she's hypnotized to come in and kill these kids or like stop the kids from doing that because now she wants Velma's brain to put Velma's brain into Fred's because Velma's super smart because she solved the mystery even though she did fuck all. She's the dumbest fucking person in this show, but no, I want your brain because you solved the mystery. So the three of them are standing there as the dad slowly walks up to them pointing a gun, not shooting any of them, and then he stands there for a minute. Keep in mind, there was a whole episode where Daphne was kicking ass, and then there's multiple times later down the line where she's kicking ass. Daphne literally is like a professional fighter in this show, yet she can't fucking stop this dude, this hypnotized guy with a gun as he slowly walks up to three of you. Come on, bro. And it makes it even worse when the day is saved when fucking Fred goes into rage mode, which we found out earlier it happens when he gets angry, and Velma makes him pissed off by just calling him an entitled rich prick. And then he goes into rage mode, breaks out of his change, and kills his, and like, not kills, basically beats his dad up anyway. So if Fred could do it, why the fuck couldn't Daphne? You're telling me this person who's trained by two cops, who's like constantly being shown fighting and being able to do this athletic shit couldn't fucking stop this guy, but Fred in baby rage mode can? That's fucking stupid. And then Fred gets his development too, again in the last fucking episode where he goes to Velma. He's like, well, he also got the one with the girls thing, but that's forgotten as quickly as it's like, as it's there. So then he goes to Velma. He's like, "You're my friend now. We're gonna be cool, and I'm not gonna be like an asshole anymore." That's gonna not stick. And then, so then he goes to chase his mom as she's running away. Because, by the way, she escaped. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention. So the dad walks up slowly to Velma and knocks her out. Like, that's what happens. And then as she knocks her out, she wakes him up. They're both under the table. I don't know how the other person escaped. I really don't understand how this even happened. It should have been, the guy walks in with a gun, Daphne kicks his ass, then some funny shit happens, and then the mom dies. But no, they had like 10 more minutes to fill. So then Fred chases his mom up the stairs with the gun, has her dead to rights, and then she says, "I'm the ghost of Edna Purdue. I'm not your mother. I would never do that." Which for Fred makes sense why he would drop the gun and let her do that, and it's actually pretty funny. And then the savior of the fucking show, the greatest character ever, Norville fucking comes in and saves the fucking day. And he literally kills the mom in such an epic way. He goes to a sword school during this because He wanted to switch schools because he didn't want to be around Velma anymore. Understandable. I wouldn't want to be around Velma anymore either. So he switches schools to a sword school. Apparently, he learned a lot of shit during the sword school. He slides down this rope. She shoots a gun at him. He blocks the bullet up to a fucking rock, and the stalactite falls down and absolutely demolishes her and fucking murders her. She's dead. Dead. And I could not be happier because that means it's almost over. The ending, and this is, I'm gonna read the exact quote I have on the paper here. The ending can suck my fat cock from the back in a hot sauna, because that's how bad it was. It was stupidly contrived, stupidly made to happen. So many things needed to happen for it to happen, and they only ever happened in this episode. And it's like it was completely separated from every other episode of the thing. This show treats itself more like a sitcom that has a connected story. Like almost every episode, nothing really connects to the other one, but they still technically do. It's a weird way to explain it, but that's how I'm doing it. And then they try to set up a season 2. So Fred gets his van. He paints all over it. He calls it the spooky machine or whatever. Norville's dad tells him to try marijuana. Everyone knows he's going to become a fucking drug addict or something. Or he's going to have one episode where he does a bunch of drugs, because there's no way they're going to keep making him anti-drug if they're not setting up a really funny joke episode where he's going to become like high as fuck and probably do something dumb. Daphne gets a letter with the pentagram on it written in blood, which I'm guessing is the new big bad. Velma gets a detective after solving one case, even though, like I said many times, she didn't do fucking anything. And there you go. Those are my quick little notes that probably wasn't even that quick. I don't care. I really wanted to talk about this. This is something I wanted to do, and I hope it was, I guess, good. It probably wasn't. I don't care. Fuck Velma. This shit was ass.